Humanity, Season 2, Episode 6, Childhood's End.
Flashback, 4 years before the outbreak. We see inside a bowling alley where a bunch of kids are on a school field trip, having fun. We see someone get a strike as it is revealed to be young Cori. Derek is watching as one of the chaperones and smiles. "Hey, good bowl, buddy." Cori laughs and then sees young Cassie pick up a bowling ball and roll it. She manages to knock down 5 pins. Cassie says, "Oh man." Cori says, "It's okay. We'll get it next time." Derek looks at the seating area and sees the other chaperones talking. Derek looks at Cori, Cassie, and the rest of their group and says, "You guys good playing for a bit alone?" Cassie says, "What about your turn?" Derek says, "Take my turn, Cassie. Get some practicing." Derek then goes to sit with the other chaperones. Derek sits with the 3 other chaperones, who are William, Jeff, and Alex's father, Harvey. William says, "Glad the kids are enjoying themselves. They're always excited when they get to come on a field trip here." Derek says, "Yeah, it's also really nice that Roman lets us rent it out for the day, so it's just us and nobody else." Harvey says, "Yeah, I'm disappointed that Alex couldn't go though. He had to stay home because of a fever he's having. Chloe's looking after him though." Derek says, "Oh, hope he gets better, Harv." Jeff says, "Hope he's better by the time I cook my famous lasagna tonight." Derek says, "Oh yeah, aren't you and Rosa heading back to Texas tomorrow?" Jeff says, "Yep, got a long way back, but overall, should be a simple trip." Derek laughs. "I'm surprised with you, Jeff. You haven't gone up about the apocalypse once since we've gone here." Harvey says, "Oh, that's because I bet him $50 if he doesn't talk about that bullshit in front of the kids." Jeff laughs and says, "It's not bullshit, but hey, a bet's a bet. I'll keep my mouth shut." Harvey says, "Good." A man walks up to their table and says, "Can I get you guys anything to drink?" Harvey smiles and says, "Sup, Kieran? Yeah, I'll have a Shirley Temple." Derek, Jeff, and William give their order, and Kieran says, "Alright, I'll be back in a bit." Kieran walks away, and the chaperones supervise the kids playing bowling while they wait for their drinks. Later, the chaperones are getting ready to leave on the bus with the kids as the owner of the bowling alley, Roman, comes up to them and says, "Hope you kids had fun. Hope to see you guys again here soon." Derek smiles and says, "Thank you, Roman. There's a reason we always choose this place." Roman watches as Derek and the chaperones lead the kids onto the bus, and then it drives away. We then see Roman turn around as we slowly fade to the current day. Roman is now an infected. The bowling alley is ransacked, and there are infected everywhere. Roman slowly walks towards the door, where other infected are pushing on it, unable to get through it due to a chain. Roman bangs on the door and it slowly opens. Roman slips through and begins limping outside of the bowling alley. He slowly moves through the bowling alley parking lot as we then see him get stabbed in the head with a butterfly knife. We see that it was Cassie that put him down. She is with Cori, Viola, and Derek. Cassie looks at Roman and says, "After not seeing you for 4 years, I definitely didn't expect to see you like this." "Sorry, Roman." Derek says, "Shame the man didn't make it. Sadly, that's the case for most people in this world." Cori looks at the door to the bowling alley and sees the infected. "Hey guys, I want to take a look at this." They walk up to the door, but they keep a distance as they slowly peek inside and see a ton of dead inside of the bowling alley. Viola says, "That can't be good." Derek says, "Who knows how long this will hold? We need to get back to the school and tell Judy about this." The group agrees as they slowly walk away and head back to the school. But then we see that someone is watching them on top of a nearby building. Back at the school, Judy and Derek and another teacher named Brody have gathered a group of kids into a meeting room. These kids are Cori, Cassie, Viola, Dean, Cole, and about 12 other students and 5 teachers. Dean asks, "So why are we here, Judy?" Judy speaks out, "I've been informed by Derek and a few others of a bowling alley nearby that is filled with the dead." Cole says, "So if they're inside the building, who cares?" Derek continues, "Well, the door looked like it could be giving out any second now, and if it does, and that word gets out, the school could get hit." A random girl asks, "So wait, what are we gonna do about this?" Brody speaks, "Well, we've gathered all of you in here because you're the ones who can fight and have gone on runs. Now, if this herd breaks free and gets to the school, we're going to be dealing with a lot more trouble defending the school, so we're thinking of going to the bowling alley and clearing it there. It'll be easier taking them all out in one location. We want to know how many of you would want to help us clear it. Plus, there would be a chance of supplies in it, possibly." Cole says, "Why don't we just try to deter the horde?" Derek says, "I don't have my truck, and we have no other vehicle. It would be way too dangerous to leave them on foot. And this horde could break out at any time. We do not have time to look for a working car." Dean looked at Derek with a sarcastic look. "Oh, great. So because your little angel and her boyfriend decided to run off together, we had to risk being torn apart. How great. Thank you, Miss Hill. I really appreciate it." Derek looks at Dean angry. "Hey, I'm not happy that they left without talking to me, okay? Do you think I would want my daughter out there in the world? We're not forcing you to take part. If you're going to be like this, then get out, Dean." Dean scoffs at him and says, "Whatever, I'm out of here." As he walks out, Judy looks at this and says, "Well, that happened. So anyway, raise your hand if you want to do this. I know this is risky, but if we don't act on this now, we will be dealing with a lot more trouble later on. We need as many people as possible for this." Cassie raises her hand along with Cori and Cole and Viola, and about 8 other students do the same. Judy says, "All right, we will be heading out in about an hour. We will get you guys some weapons." Meeting adjourned. The kids walk out, and so does Brody and the other teachers, leaving only Derek and Judy. Judy and Derek hang back as Derek asks if they can talk. Judy says, "Sure, Derek. What's up?" "Listen, Judy, I've been thinking about it a lot since they left nearly a week ago. I can't bear the thought of being out there. You remember I nearly had a mental breakdown after Kelly and Alex left?" Judy looks at Derek. "Sorry, Derek. I know it's tough. The world out there, it's scary, especially knowing someone like Avery could be out there." Derek looks at Judy with a serious look. "Listen, I'm going to help you guys clear this bowling alley, okay? But after it's safe for you guys, I gotta go out there. I gotta find my daughter, and I gotta find Alex. I know they went to Texas. That's what Cori told me. And they're probably going to try to find Jeff. I know the general area he lives in, so I'm going to try to find a car after this, and then I'm going to drive down there and try to find them. I can't sit here feeling the worst anymore. I hate the thought of what they could have seen out there." Judy is shocked. "So you want to go across the country? Are you sure you can make it?" Derek says, "Well, hey, I'd rather die trying to find them, okay? I can't blame them for wanting to go find Chloe, but also I can't just sit here and do nothing anymore." Judy says, "Well, I doubt there's a way I can talk you out of it, is there?" Derek says, "No, but I promise, as soon as I find them, I'm coming straight back here." Judy says, "Well, we can talk about this more after we clear the horde, okay? For now, we should get ready for this." Derek says, "Thanks, Judy. And also, I'm not mad at you for letting them leave. I get Alex's pain. If I was in the situation he was in, I'd go for hell and back to find my sister. And honestly, I've raised Kelly to support people like that, so I can't blame her either." Judy smiles and says, "Thanks, Derek. See you in a bit." The two then leave the room. At the bowling alley, Derek, Cassie, Cori, Viola, Judy, Brody, Cole, along with the rest of the students, are standing outside the bowling alley. All the kids have knives. Derek loads his gun, and so does Judy. Cole then asks, "All right, so what's the plan?" Derek says, "So what we're going to do is we're going to push some of these cars around the parking lot and create a perimeter around the door. We're going to have 2 groups. One is going to go through one of the emergency exits. The rest will stay here and let the dead out. All of you there will attract the dead and kill them as they come near the cars. The cars will provide you some cover. The ones inside will take care of any who are not attracted to the cars. Remember, be careful. Aim for the head, whether you're using a knife or a gun. Stick together. Do we got that? Everyone agree, and Judy calls out the teams. Alright, myself, Viola, Brody, Cassie. Judy then calls out a couple other students. All of you, you're on door duty. Rest of you, you're in the building. Sound good? Everyone seems nervous, but agrees. Judy says, Alright, let's get this barricade set up. Their group works together and pushes a barricade of cars around the door. Cassie stands by a lamppost while waiting for the group to finish. She pulls out her gun and looks at her magazine, seeing it's full. Cori sees her and comes up to her. Hey, Cass. You doing alright? Cassie looks at Cori. I'm just worried. I'm afraid I'm gonna mess up and get myself killed. You know I'm not the best shot and I'm not the most efficient with a knife. I'm scared if I run out of ammo that I won't last long. Cori stares at Cassie. Don't be afraid, Cassie. You are tougher than you think. What happened with Sandy? That was tough. It takes a lot to bring yourself to do something like that. You're capable, Cassie. More than you think you are. And I know that you're capable. You'll be okay. You got this. Cassie says, maybe I am, but I still just don't know my place in this world. It changes every day. What if there's more people like Avery out there? What do we do then? Cori says, we do what we've been doing since the world fell. We grow up. This world, it meant childhood's end. There is no such thing as kids in this world anymore, Cassie. All there is now is being alive. You gotta fight for survival every day, for yourself, and for those you love. Cassie smiles and says, one hell of an inspirational speech, Cori. Cassie looks at her gun and says, you're right, though. I can't let fear take over. I gotta stay strong. Cori says, glad you see it that way. Again, you got this, Cassie. I'll see you on the other side, okay? Cassie smiles and they share a long hug as Derek calls out, alright, it's ready. Time to get into positions, guys. Cori and Cassie exchange encouraging glances as they head towards their separate groups. Cassie, Viola, Judy, Brody, and half the group sets up in front of the door as Derek, Cori, Cole, and the other half get set up in front of the emergency door. Derek says, ready, guys? Everyone nods as Derek says, Judy, now! Judy pulls out her gun and aims it at the chain lock. She shoots it and the chain breaks. The dead immediately bust out through the door and our group begins fighting them. Cassie starts shooting, missing one shot, but then hitting another in the head. Many of the dead start coming as the kids begin using guns, and so does Judy. 3 comes towards Viola, and she uses her knife and stabs them all in the head, one by one. Derek says, alright, time for us to go in. Cori pulls out his hatchet, and Cole gulps as Derek pulls out a pry bar and pries the door open, and then the group heads inside of the bowling alley. Derek and the group are now in the bowling alley and are immediately confronted by the dead. Derek pulls out his knife and kills one. Cori kills 2 more with his hatchet, and then Cole kills another. And then the rest of the kids begin fighting off the dead. Derek sees a good amount of infected walking towards the door as he hears gunshots coming from there. One infected runs at Derek, and Derek struggles against it, but Derek manages to throw it to the floor and stomp its head in. Derek and the other students continue to fight them off, one after another, as the group begins pushing deeper into the bowling alley. Back outside, more and more of the dead are coming out. The group is fighting them off. Some of the students are using guns and others are using knives. Viola kills one, but then her hand is grabbed and she drops her knife as she struggles. Judy aims her gun and shoots the infected in the head. Viola steps back and breathes. Thanks, Judy. Judy says, don't mention it, just be careful. Brody uses a nailed baseball bat on the dead as they keep coming out the door. Cassie shoots an infected in the head, and then when she goes to shoot another, her gun clicks, and she is out of ammo. She pulls out her butterfly knife and begins getting nervous as she stabs an infected in the head. She struggles to get it through her brain, but manages to kill it soon. She sees Derek and the group fighting them off. She sees a girl get grabbed by an infected inside, and sees Derek pull out his gun and shoot it off of her. Since nobody is firing guns at the door, this draws the dead inside the bowling alley and away from the group at the main door. Back in the bowling alley, Derek sees that the group near the door is heading his way. Derek says, "Shit." Cori sees this and says, "We gotta fight them off and hope the others come in." Derek, Cori, and the other kids are fighting off the dead. Cole is killing infected on the lanes. He sees two coming at him. He kicks one of them down and stabs the other in the head. But right as he's about to kill the one on the floor, an infected stuck inside the gutter grabs Cole's leg and causes him to scream. He drops his knife and gets pulled into the gutter while trying to grab the knife. Cori sees this and panics, trying to run towards Cole. "Cole, I'm coming!" As Cori is trying to run for Cole, he is stopped by two infected. He sticks his hatchet in the head of one of them, but when he tries to kill the other, it misses the brain and it gets stuck. He falls to the ground, struggling against the infected as more head towards him. Derek and the others are surrounded and cannot help him. Cori sees a bowling ball within reach and grabs it. With all his strength, he swings it at the infected's head, getting it off of him. He then uses the bowling ball to kill the infected before grabbing his hatchet and killing the remaining infected coming towards him. He then looks towards Cole and sees him screaming as he's being devoured by infected in the gutter and later by the ones heading toward him. Cori runs to him and kills the infected, pulling Cole out, who is already dead. Cori looks at him sad. "Sorry, man," as he pulls out his hatchet and plunges it into Cole's head to prevent him from reanimating. Cori runs back to the group, fighting off the dead. They are still surrounded by over 50 to 60 infected. Derek says, "Back up, everyone, back up. Get as much distance as possible." Derek shoots his gun at the infected, killing as many as he can before he runs out of ammo. The group slowly backs away, killing infected when they can. They get back to a wall as the dead close in on them. But then Judy, Cassie, Viola, Brody, and the rest of the students come in and fight through the dead to get to Derek's group. Judy says, "Everyone get ready. We gotta make a stand together. Keep killing them. Do not stop till they are all dead." A student says scared, "We can't. There's too many." Another student says the same, and others are saying the same too. Cori then screams out as the group is getting surrounded by the dead. "Listen, I know you're scared, but you cannot let fear take over. We gotta be strong. If we fight together, we can do this. We are not kids anymore. We gotta do tough shit to survive. Being brave, that is what will keep us standing." Cori's speech seems to calm everybody down as everyone gets their weapons up as they ever get closer to them. Derek, Judy, Cassie, Cori, Viola, Brody, and the rest of the kids stand together as the dead comes towards them, and they begin fighting for their lives. They keep killing them, one after another. Nobody stops. They just keep fighting the dead, killing the dead as they slowly manage to kill every last one of the infected inside of the bowling alley. Everyone breathes as they know they have won the fight. Everyone walks around the now clear bowling alley, making sure there are no more infected. Cassie, Judy, Derek, Viola, Cori, and Brody walk up to Cole's body. Judy looks at him saddened. "I'm sorry, Cole. Thank you for helping us clear this place. You helped save the school. You won't be forgotten." Cori says, "I tried to save him, but I couldn't." Derek says, "It's not your fault, kid. You did what you could." Cassie says, "You were a great friend, Cole. I hope you're with Mike, Devin, Landon, and your family. Rest easy, friend." Judy looks at Brody. "Hey, Brody, mind going around the area making sure no infected were drawn from the gunfire? Report back to the school once you're done." Brody says, "Yes, ma'am." Brody leaves as Judy says, "Let's look around for supplies. We will bring Cole back to the school and bury him after." The group then looks around for supplies. Judy walks towards a storage room and tries to open it, but she has a hard time opening it. Derek sees this and says, "Hey, you need help over there?" Judy says, "No, I got it, Derek." Judy tries to kick the door in, and after a few kicks, it does open. She sees that a crowbar was keeping it shut. She raises her knife and slowly heads inside. She looks around for supplies, but then she turns and sees a dead body on the ground of a man with a slit throat and a knife wound to the head. Judy is about to call out, but then she hears a gun click behind her. The man holding the gun says, "Turn around, slowly, with your hands up." Judy complies and looks at the person holding the gun. We see it's Kieran. Judy says, "Look, we don't want trouble. We were just clearing this place out. And I just came in here to look for supplies. That's all." Kieran keeps his gun aimed. "Are you with them?" Judy asks, "With who?" Kieran says, "The people responsible for this place being overrun. The people that killed my entire group. As you can see, one of them is on the ground right there." Judy says, "Look, I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't even know there was a group here." Derek comes in with his gun raised and says, "Drop it." Kieran looks at Derek and is in shock. "Derek?" Kieran lowers his gun as Derek says, "Kieran?" Judy looks at Derek and says, "You know him?" Derek says, "Yeah, he was a waiter here. I knew him when I would chaperone elementary school trips here before everything happened." Kieran says, "It's good to see you, man." Derek says, "We can save formalities for later. Look, can I ask why you aimed a gun at Judy here?" Kieran says, "Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Look, about a week ago, this place was a small community. It was actually led by Roman, and we had around 15 people. We had plenty of food, mainly since this place was so popular back in the day. We only had to go out for supplies once to a gun shop at the start, but ever since, we've never had to go out." Derek says, "That explains why we've never ran into you guys." Judy asks, "So what happened here exactly?" Kieran says, "A group showed up. They wanted us to join them. However, we were doing fine, and Roman denied their offer. And then, well, they came in and killed everyone, including Roman. There were some of the dead nearby, quite a lot, and they were coming towards the alley. Then this group, they led them inside the alley and locked them inside. I don't know why, but that's what happened. I hid during the attack. This guy came in, and then I had to kill him. And I've been hiding in here ever since." Derek says, "I'm sorry to hear that, man. Listen, we're set up at a school nearby. We can discuss more there. You're welcome to come with us. Plus, I'm sure you'll recognize some of the faces there. Some are here right now, actually." Kieran says, "Thanks. I'll take you up on that. I can actually give you guys something. Come with me." Judy and Derek follow Kieran as he pushes aside a large shelf and reveals a room filled with food, water, and ammunition. Judy looks shocked. He could feed the school for a month with this stuff, maybe even more. Kieran says, "I hid the room during the attack. If we were going down, I wasn't going to let these guys have any of this stuff. But you guys can take it all. I'm sure it'll help out you guys and your people." Derek says, "Thanks, Kieran. This helps a lot. Judy, get some of the kids to come in here so we can start getting this back to the school." Judy says, "Okay, got it." Judy exits the room as Derek and Kieran begin looting the room. Back at the school at night, everyone is in the auditorium. Everyone has a bowl of meat and potato soup in their hands. Everyone seems to be happy, as it's the most they've had to eat in weeks. Judy comes out onto the auditorium stage and begins speaking. Today was one of the biggest days for this school since the beginning of it all, but also one of the hardest. There was a bowling alley full of the dead that threatened to break out and put the school in danger. Me, Derek, along with some brave volunteers, went down there and we cleared it out. Sadly, I regret to inform y'all that one of those people, a friend to many of us, Cole Norton, sadly died trying to clear it. Some of the students are shocked as we see some of them seem to be saddened by the news." Judy continues, "But his sacrifice won't be forgotten. As you can see, we're all eating well tonight. I can say we will be doing that for the next few nights too. We hit the jackpot at this bowling alley, and now we won't be hungry for a good while. Cole gave his life for the school to have a chance, and for that, I want us to honor him. We will hold a funeral tomorrow morning, but tonight, I want you all to relax and try to enjoy the night, as this isn't something we get to do much anymore. I am again sorry about Cole. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And remember, I care for and will do anything for every single one of you. All the students sit in silence and eat. We see some are crying as they eat their soup. Derek is watching this from the backstage as Judy comes up to him. Derek says, "Good to see these kids being able to have a semi-normal night for once. Whatever qualifies for one of those, at least." Judy smiles. They deserve it. Look, Kieran is in my office. I'm about to go talk to him. I would like you to come talk to him with me. Derek says, "Sure. We going to be keeping this from the kids, or are we going to say something?" Judy says, "I want to keep this on the down low until we know more. I don't want to stir up any paranoia." Derek says, "Can't blame you for that, Judy." Judy looks at him. "So, you heading out for Texas tomorrow?" Derek says, "I thought about it, and honestly, today, I saw I could really put my faith in these kids. They are more than capable, more than I thought. If I can have faith in them, then I can have faith in my daughter and Alex. They are both tough, and I know they can handle whatever comes at them. I'm gonna stick around, at least till we know there isn't anything putting us in danger." Judy smiles. Glad to hear it. They both then head for Judy's office. In Judy's office, Kieran is sitting at the desk as Judy and Derek walk in. Judy says, "Sorry for the wait, just had to take care of something." Kieran says, "It's fine." Derek says, "So what do you know about these people? What happened exactly?" Kieran says, "Well, they showed up at the bowling alley about a week ago. I was inside, but I saw Roman talking to their leader. I don't think he said his name, but he said they were called the Prophets. He was talking about something about saving the world, rebuilding it, trying to expand their forces to fight against threats to what they're doing. Roman refused and said that we were doing fine and that we didn't want to risk our lives for it. Then their leader said, if we're not going to be part of the solution, then we're part of the problem. And well, you know the rest." Derek and Judy seem shocked by this, and Judy says, "Sounds awfully hypocritical. They want to make a better world, but they slaughter groups of people who aren't a threat." Derek says, "I guess people will find any excuse to justify doing shit like this in this world." Kieran says, "I just wish it could have been different. There were good people there." Derek says, "I'm sorry, Kieran, but by telling us this, it means we can be more careful now. Look, you're welcome to stay here as long as you want. You can sleep in the teacher's lounge. That's where all the adults sleep." Kieran says, "Thanks, I appreciate it. I am getting tired. You mind if I go get some sleep?" Judy says, "Not at all. You've done enough for us for today. And after everything you've been through, you need a good night's sleep." Kieran thanks them and leaves the office. Judy and Derek look at each other, and Derek says, "We should have a meeting tomorrow with all the teachers and some trusted students. Should talk about what we're going to do about this." Judy says, "Agreed. I'm just nervous. I just have this bad feeling in my stomach that this horde was the least of our problems." Derek says, "We'll sort it out in the morning. For now, we should get some rest. All of us had a very long day." Derek and Judy leave the office and go to the teacher's lounge. Outside, we see Cassie, Cori, and Viola standing in the graveyard. We see them setting down flowers on Mike, Devin, Jason, William, and Cole's graves. Cassie says, "Wish you could all be here with us right now. Wish we could all be facing this world together. I hope one day we can all see each other again." Cori says, "We will continue to survive this world in memory of all of you. As long as one of us stands, none of you will have died for nothing." Viola says, "I hope you guys are having the best time up there. May you all rest in peace." Cassie, Viola, and Cori stand at the graves for a bit more, and then head back inside. We then see that in the distance, that the man that was watching them at the bowling alley has now found the school. We see his face as he raises a walkie-talkie and says, "Tell the boss I'm on my way back to camp. I got some information to share." We hear a man's voice reply, "Alright, Kurt, see you in a bit." We then see Kurt turn around and leave the area. We see a camp in the woods. We see around 30 people at this camp walking around. 7 infected walk towards the camp. One of these people sees us and raises a silenced assault rifle and mows them all down. We then see some of the group is surrounding a hooded man talking to a person tied to a tree. This person tied to the tree is Brody. Brody looks nervous and asks what they want. The man says, "Oh, we didn't want anything. We just wanted to have a chat, that's all. You're the one who slashed one of my guys." We see one of these people has a slash on their arm. Brody says, I'm sorry. I was scared, okay? I'm not used to running into other people." The man says, "It's too late for apologies. All we wanted to do was ask you to help us fight for a good cause. But you decided to just be part of the problem we're trying to get rid of." Brody looks scared as we then see Kurt has returned to camp. The man turns around and looks at Kurt. The man removes his hood and we reveal that it is Javier. Kurt says that bowling alley we overran with the dead last week. There was a group that cleared it out. I watched them do it. It was impressive. I followed them back to a school about 15 miles from here. Seems to be a large settlement. Might be a chance to expand our group. Javier looks at Kurt. "And that's why you're my right-hand man." Kurt sees Brody and says, "Shit, I recognize him. He was there when they were clearing the bowling alley." Javier turns to Brody and says, "Well, seems we got a way to send a message to these people. Show them that we don't mess around. And show them what we're capable of." Brody looks terrified as Javier says, "If you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. And you, my friend, are part of the problem. But that doesn't mean your people have to be. And for my sake, and theirs, I hope they pick to be part of the solution." Javier then pulls out 2 machetes and sticks them inside Brody's stomach and disembowels him. Javier puts his machetes away and says, "Kurt, you and a couple others bring this man where his people will find him. Let's make our presence known." Kurt says, "Yes, sir," as Javier smiles and walks away.